Good evening. Yes, it's evening. It's late. This is officially the latest I've recorded an episode of this. And welcome, ye, all ye, and ye, and also ye. Does this make sense? Is this thing on? Please don't make me get off the stage. Hi, I'm back from vacation. My name's DK, and if this is the first episode of this that you've listened to, goodness, honey, what are you doing? Hi. Hey, I got back from vacation. We went on a nice little trippy. We went to all sorts of places, did all sorts of things. We went to see the band Cradle of Filth. They were fantastic, as always. I saw the band Ginger, who apparently everyone losing their minds for, and I just don't get it. They have a female vocalist, and that's the, I don't know, like that's about all I can say. They're like a generic metal band with a female vocalist. I don't get the hype. I don't understand. I think maybe people, she's a beautiful woman. I think that's true. She's a very beautiful person. I think maybe that has something to do with their popularity. Not to be too shallow, but I think that might be what it is. And it wasn't for me. They're good at what they do, I guess, but I couldn't wait for them to get off the stage. So they had energy and they put on a good show, and I appreciate that, but I was ready for them to be done. The show was delayed. So we got there, and it was very cold outside. I took off my hoodie, got out of the car in the parking garage, and said, I'm not wearing this hoodie. It's going to be too hot in there for a freaking hoodie. We get to the line. We don't even make it to the line, and I go, nope, turn around. I cannot stand in this line without my hoodie. It is too cold. It was right at freezing. Now, doors were meant to have been opened by this point. We got there at 6:32-ish, like right 6:30 on the dot. Doors should already have been opened. And they didn't. The doors were not open. And we were in line all the way around the block of this venue in Joliet, Illinois. And we were like, what's going on? The doors, we were half an hour late. It was actually, whatever the time was, we were half hour late, whatever it was. And the doors hadn't been opened yet. And there's a long line and it's freezing cold. So we took our freaking hoodies in and it was hot. Hot. That's just fun. But the bands were good. The first band was even worse than Ginger. There was nothing to offer me. It was bad. During the first band, the first moments of the first song, this huge dude shoves his way in front of me and stands as close as you can stand to a person. Like literally, he was touching me. His back was touching me on my front parts. And I look around to the people around me who we've been kind of chatting with a little bit. And I just kind of go like, are you guys seeing this? And everyone's like, gives me this look like, what's happening to you right now? The dude's just standing there. And I'm like, okay, maybe he doesn't know I'm here. So I sort of give him the old lean into him a little bit. Like, I just stood there. I didn't move, and I leaned a little bit forward so he would feel me. And I'm sure he felt me, did not care, was unfazed. He had huge poofy hair, couldn't see over that. He was pretty tall. So I have to lean over his right shoulder to look. And then guess what? The first band comes on, whips out his phone in his right hand and holds up his phone. So I'm watching the show through his freaking phone. It really upset me. And I didn't even like the band that much. Insult to injury, the band wasn't good. And he's like lean and he's doing this real big like stagger lean. Like it's this, I've never seen this technique where he's standing but not still. He's like rocking to the left and to the right, and each time takes a little step backwards further into my zone. We made contact a lot, and I just didn't understand. And so finally he gets away from me after the first band set. He pushed his way forward to get closer for the next band. And then I see him doing it to the people in front of him, and people were like, dude, what's up? So I'm glad he got away from me. And then this lady was next to me, like shoving into me. And I got my hands in my pockets. I don't want to be accused. Like, I was scared she's going to be like, why are you touching me? Like, you're into me, lady. I'm actively moving away from you, and you keep moving into me. And I was like, hands are in pockets. My eyes are forward. I don't want this drunk person to be like, what are you doing? He's pawing all over me. I've seen it happen at shows, and no one was doing anything. So yes, I was terrified that was going to happen. It didn't. She was just drunk. Whatever. But the show was fun. Cradle sounded amazing. The town we were in was Joliet, Illinois, and Danny Field comes out and he goes, "Wherefore art thou, Joliet?" Because he's a British guy, and he's a little bit. His humor is a little better, some would say, and he's a very smart guy and very well spoken. Smoking. I'm tired. It's late. Okay, I'm going to say some weird things, but anyway, he said that joke, and I thought it was funny, like a Shakespeare thing, and he's sort of poetic like that in his screaming voice. And no one got it. No one laughed. I thought it was funny. It was cute. And that he planned that. Like, well, what town are we in? Okay, I'll come up with something. Oh, there we go. Perfect. I thought it was great. They played some songs I can't believe they played. Some very old, not B-sides, but like deep cuts that you just wouldn't expect. If somebody would have said, you're going to hear this, this, and this, I would have said, no, they won't play those. There's no way they're going to play those. Of all the songs they have, they won't play those. And they played them. Some of my all-time favorites. It's awesome. I'm glad they did. It's like they're pretty in touch with what the fans want. And they even because they have a new CD pretty often. They're very prolific. And he's like, well, we do need to play some of these new songs. So, again, sorry, here's a new one. Like, they knew, like, we want to hear the old stuff. They've been doing it for so long. Oh, they were great. But anyway, if you don't like them or what I'm talking about, this is super boring. So I'll move on. We went on to vacation, to Vacation Land. And the first thing we did, let me back up a little bit, rewind in time. We arrive at the hotel. We drive to the hotel first, which is about an hour north of the venue that the show was going to be at. We wanted to check in first, get situated, blah, blah, blah. So then we thought we'd just drive back the hour south to Joliet. Fine. When we get there, the room is wrong. It's going to sound petty, Tom, rip in peace. But the hotel room didn't have a bathtub. On the website, when I made the please, words, come back, please, stop, words. When I made the, this is real. When I made the hotel, oh my God. I don't want to say, I keep thinking arrangement. I don't want that word. What's the word? Standing behind you. What is that? What's that word right there? Reservation! Get out here, reservation. When I made the hotel reservation, good Lord. The website said very specifically bathtub. And we don't have a bathtub at home. We have a small house. Our bathroom is tiny. It just has a shower. We don't have a bathtub. And we were legitimately looking forward to a bathtub, a nice bath. It's part of the vacation for us. I know it sounds stupid, but honestly, I was severely upset when there was no bathtub, and I booked at that hotel specifically due to its proximity to places we wanted to go, but also there were a ton of hotels in that area, and that was the room I found that had the bathtub for sure. And it was a nice hotel. It was not cheap. I'll say that. It was not cheap. It was one of the most expensive hotel stays I've ever had. So the room was great, but no freaking bathtub. So I go down to the front desk, and I'm like, okay, when you drive a long distance, we drove 5 hours to get there. When you drive a long distance, you want to dress comfortably. So I'm in like athletic shorts, flip-flops, and a really crappy tattered look. Not tattered. I didn't look like I was homeless or whatever. I was wearing an old Star Wars shirt. It's faded. It didn't look good. I felt like I looked kind of dumpy, but I was comfortable, okay? But I felt really gross, and I'm like, I gotta go down there and tell this dude that my room's not right. And he's wearing a suit, and I'm wearing this, and I felt really dumb. But I'm like, hey, the website, when I booked, said there would be a bathtub, and there's just a shower in there. And I'm like, what can we do? And the guy's like, oh, no problem. I got you. Don't worry about it. There's an issue with our website where because the way the rooms are put onto the website, they're on there individually. And if I want to make changes because we've renovated to change those rooms, I have to go in and individually change every single room by number, and it's a very tall, big hotel. He's like, and I just honestly haven't got around to it. I've been working on it slowly, but he's like, that's 100% on me, and I understand. If you need that bathtub, we'll take care of it. Let me look in the system. Took care of it. We moved from the 4th floor down to the 1st floor, and it was like the perfect, like, how hotels will have a side entrance usually. Usually they'll have an entrance in any direction. Some of the bigger ones, anyway. And this one had an entrance north, south, east, west. Each of those you could come in from either way. So we were at the west entrance, right? And literally the first room inside to the right. It was great. And it was right next to the ice machine, which I was worried would be noisy, but I couldn't hear it. So that wasn't a problem. So I could park right out there, walk in, be at our room. It was great. But we get in there, and we're like, great, bath. We're gonna have a bath. We're gonna freshen up, and then we're gonna go to our show. And so I'm waiting around to use the bathroom, and all of a sudden, I go to turn on the TV, and guess what? TV's dead. And I'm thinking, can I do these couple nights here without a TV? Yeah, I can. But part of the fun of being in a hotel is flipping through those channels late at night. And I'm not going to lie to you, I had planned on having beverages and just surfing the tube. We don't have TV at home. All I have are web streaming services. So at home, when I want to watch something, we have very limited over-the-air TV, and there's never anything good on there unless, SNL or whatever. So I was kind of looking forward to the HBO, again, that was promised to me on the website, and whatever. And SNL was, this is going to sound dumb, but I wanted to watch SNL on Saturday night. This was Friday when we were checking in. So I said, I gotta go back to the front desk. So I go back to the front desk, and I say, I'm so sorry, but the TV is not working. And I troubleshot it. Like, I'm not stupid. I'm pretty good with electronics. And I troubleshot it, and the TV, the light would come on, the power light would come on, but you'd get it wouldn't actually come on. The TV wouldn't turn on, and it seems like I thought maybe it was the power supply in the TV, something on the board. Anyway, I go to the guy and I'm like, I'm so sorry, but the TV in our room is not working. He's like, well, I don't have any more rooms, and he's like, well, let me see if my maintenance guy is still here. And his maintenance guy was literally, I keep saying literally, but it's true, in the parking lot getting into his car. But the manager was super cool, and he ran to the parking lot and got him. He's like, can you come back? Please, I have this issue. This customer's already had a problem. I don't want to inconvenience him anymore. Can you please come back in and take a look at their TV? And he was a really cool dude. And he looked at it and said the same thing I said. It's probably that. And what can we do? And he said, well, we can just pull a TV from another room. They all have the same bracket system, so I can just pull a TV from an unused room and we can just swap the TV. And the guy's like, how long is it going to take? He's like, maybe 20 minutes, half hour. So we were already kind of behind for our show, getting ready. We had time, but we wanted to be sure we weren't too rushed. He's like, do you, and the owner, or the manager was, again, really cool. He's like, do you guys want to come to the bar, just to have some complimentary drinks, and we'll let him take care of your room, and it's no problem. And I was like, well, my wife really wants to, take a shower before we go. And you know what? Thanks for the offer, but I think we'll just hang out in the room. And if he just wants to come, I'll help him. I said, I know how to do this. I do electronic things. Just have him come, and I'll hang out and wait, and I'll help him with the TV. So he went and got another TV, brought it in. I helped the dude install it. I gave him a $20 tip for coming back. And I'm not bragging about my generosity, but I legitimately felt bad. I really did. Because, man, I work not in a similar thing, but I understand the inconvenience. Like, if you've worked a long day, you really want to go home, you're in your car, your manager goes, can you come back? Oh, probably hungry, probably want to go home and see his family. I totally understand. It's a Friday night. he thought he was out. So I gave him a tip, and I apologized a bunch, and he was really cool. And it was cool. Like, I saw him, he worked the next day, and I saw him in the lobby, and he's like, hey, man, just want to say thanks. He thanked me again, and it was cool. So anyway, it was all good. And I was talking to that talking to the owner, or not the owner, but the manager of the hotel, and he said, "What are you guys here for? What can I do for you? What are we doing?" And I said, "Oh, we're here to go to mainly some arcades and just chill out and just relax, take a bath, as you know." And he's like, "Oh, you go to arcades? He's like, "Tell you what, hold on." And he went and he brought us a $50 gift card. $50 gift card for a local arcade that we were planning on maybe going to anyway. And it wasn't just like, here's $50 in tokens. It was $50 you can spend on lunch or tokens or beers or whatever you want in there, anything in there. It was super cool. So to that dude, I say, we'll come back to your hotel. Next time we go there again, we will absolutely come back to that hotel. It was very good, and I appreciate all the help they gave us. So that kind of stuff, if you're in that kind of job, when you go the extra mile, it really makes a difference. It really does. Some people don't appreciate it. Some people expect it. I hate that. I hate it. Some people would walk down and just yell, "When I booked this room, it said there'd be a bathtub. I'm pissed. I want something. I want a free stay. I want..." Blah, blah. Shut up. Shut up. Please. I can't stand that. I would never do that. I don't have it in me. So again, that guy, you're a real hero in my eyes. You did your job well. You gave me a nice conversation, and I appreciate it. So then, there was an all-time first for my wife and I. We got up for the continental breakfast. Normally on vacation, it's like, oh yeah, we're sleeping till 11, maybe noon. That's right. We'll use our valuable daytime hours on vacation to rest in this giant comfortable bed, because again, we have a small house. Our bed is it's a full, so it's one step above a twin, I think. No, could it be? I don't know bed sizes. Come on, I'm not a mattress king. Anyway, is that a thing? Anyway, yeah. So we sleep on a full. I'm a tall person. She's normal size, but I'm a big guy. I'm tall, and there's just not a lot of room in our bedroom is small. It's okay. So this big bed in this room was a king size, and it really felt like a king size. Oh my God, so much space, so much room for activities, and it was the best. So yeah, sometimes we'll lounge. We like to just hang out. So we were like, you know what, that continental breakfast, we never had it before. I mean, I have at hotels, sure. But when she and I have gone, never gotten up, never done it once. So what we did was, by the way, I took a ton of baths, but that'll come in later. We got up for the continental breakfast. It was like 8 o'clock, and we just happened to both. She woke up and she's like, "Hey, you want to go to that breakfast?" I said, "Yeah, let's go to the breakfast." We had really nice cage-free eggs, very specific. That egg has never been in a cage. And I'm proud of him for sticking up for egg whites. And we had bagels and donuts and cereals in little boxes, and we had little pancakes, and we had freshly squozen orange juice, coffee, all the breakfast things you could want within reason. Sausages. Oh, the sausages were really good. And anyway, it was so good. We got full. Still fairly early in the morning for us. Like it was like 8:30 or 9. That's not too early for me. Like normally I have to get up for work at like 6 or 7 a.m. So really that's not a big deal for me anymore. But old me is like, oh, 9 a.m. Go back to bedtime. So we went back to the room, and she's like, I may just hang out and chill and put the TV on or something and just maybe go back to sleep just for a little while, just relax, because we'd stayed up kind of late and the show took a lot out of us the night before. And I was like, you know what? I might come back to bed, but maybe I'll have a shower or a bath first. Went to the bath. She fell asleep in bed. I fell asleep in the tub. I think I was in the bathtub for 2 hours. Really, 2 hours. She comes to the door and she's like, "Don't fall asleep in the tub. People die all the time in those." Whatever the line is, the exact line from Nightmare on Elm Street. The mom says to Nancy, and then the Freddy glove comes up from the water. The exact line. And it was like, yep, that's fun. And I just fell asleep in the bathtub for 2 hours. So that was great. And then went to the mall the next day, hung out at the mall, went to the arcade, had a great time. I played the new Stern Batman pinball table. I might like it more than the Star Wars table. This is early times. I don't know yet, but it is fantastic. It's so good. I hope they put it digital soon. I hope they can license it. It is so good. I love it. The Star Wars table's great, though. I don't know. The Star Wars table is much more complex. The Batman table is pretty simple, but there's still a lot to do. It just captures everything you want out of pinball beautifully. If you haven't seen it, look at a video. It's so much fun. There's a mode where you pick a villain, and then the villain you pick gives you a different mode, and then the different mode has you doing different things, like shoot different shots, shoot these lit targets, that kind of thing. Love it. It was so good. There's this rotating piece on the playing field in the back left, and it rotates to give you different. So basically, it's a moving target, not a moving target, but a target that changes. So at some points, it's the bat signal. Shoot the bat signal. There it is. At some points, it's like the bat phone. Shoot the bat phone. Answer the phone. So it's almost like instead of just having one section on the table just for the bat phone, they've kind of given themselves more options on with less space. It's really clever, and I love that. I love that about it. It just got the sounds and the music and the little video clips and the wham and the pow and the na 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 Batman. It's great. I grew up with that show. It's very important to me as a child. As an adult, also important. Loved it. That was fun. That was really good. I played that more than anything. I also played Guardians of the Galaxy, which I enjoyed. It's good, but I didn't. It's very rampy. But I didn't like it as much as Batman. Batman was the one. I got a decent score, 100 million or something. Not a good score, but I felt like it was okay for me. Now, some person who's really good is going to be like, yeah, that's. But anyway, I thought it was a good score. That was great. Also we played this pirate light gun game where it's 2 players and you're on this boat, pirate ship, you might call it. And it's just this weird, it looks like a game that would have been on the Wii. I don't think it was. I don't recognize it anyway. And basically you're these 2 like anime pirates with this group of like Jack Sparrow looking pirates, but you're the 2 anime looking characters, of course, Leah and something else, and you just shoot stuff, and it was great. It was surprisingly fun though, because you had these 2 guns which were kind of like cannons. They were kind of modeled after cannons, like they would be on a ship like that. But also in between them was a steering wheel, so you turn it like you're turning the ship, and that was a fun element to the gameplay that I really enjoyed. It's a little thing, but I thought it was really clever and great. So that was fun. Did a bunch of arcade games. The next day we went to a different arcade, the one we had the gift card at. And at this arcade, at both of the arcades, you can win tickets from things. But at the first place, I mainly play pinball, and you don't get tickets for pinball. But at the place the next day, after another continental breakfast and another shower, or another bath that lasted 2 hours, and also a bath that previous night, again, probably an hour long. I'm a bath man. We got our money's worth for sure. At the next place, we played the world's largest tic-tac-toe. Well, I don't know if it's the world's largest, but it's huge. I want to say it's 15 feet by 15 feet, or something along those lines. Huge dimensions. And it's head-to-head. You play against each other, and you play tic-tac-toe, and people can watch. And, or not tic-tac-toe, I'm sorry, Connect 4. Oh, Fox just ran in front of the road. Hi, Fox. He made it. We're good. I would have slowed down. I'm not a crazy person. But yeah, we played this giant Connect 4. It was Connect 4, not tic-tac-toe. Connect 4. And it was so much fun. That was great. We played that a lot. It was surprisingly intense because the game was so huge and the lights are so large that everyone can see, even from all the way across the place. It was basically like a Dave & Buster's, if you've ever been to one of those. But under a different name. But anyway, that was great. Had a good time with that. Played a lot of games there. I played a lot of light gun games. And then also that day it was just happened to be snowing in April, of course. And that was fun. Made it home, but first we went to a place called Arcadia. And we've been there before. I don't know if I talked about it on here or not, but played a ton of arcade games, played a bunch of light gun games. I was really into those on this trip for some reason. Played some pinball. Had a great trip. I don't know if I missed anything big. Well, we ate at Rainforest Cafe at one point. That was good. I think that's all the big stuff from the vacation. We had a good time. Yeah, I think that's about it from the vacation. It was really fun. I had a good time. I needed a day or two more. But then, okay, all that tiring vacation. And honestly, I felt like we were constantly... Oh, we went to Trader Joe's. Oh, I forgot about Trader Joe's. We did go to Trader Joe's. It was fantastic. I spent a ton of money at Trader Joe's on snacks. I'm still eating the snacks. Great time. I know it sounds silly if there's a Trader Joe's near you. It's no big deal. But we don't have one anywhere near us. And so we stocked up and brought a bunch of stuff home. I bought close to $30 worth of cheeses. Maybe not quite so much, but close. I bought a ton of cheeses. Several blocks. Many blocks. And I'm just devouring those cheeses. We got a couple boxes of JoJo's. Just so much stuff. I tried some new chips and dip from there. That was good. We got just all kinds of stuff, man. All kinds of snacks. I tried one of these special sodas they have. Some kind of orange something or other. Very good. Very, very carbonated, bitey, bubbly. Very good. Great. Love you, Trader Joe's. Kiss me. But then we get home, and I felt like that trip was a lot of driving around. We got to be here at this time. Okay, now we have to leave, pack up. Lots of hustle and bustle and moving around and deadlines. And I know I'd like it to be a little bit more. We were only there for a couple of nights. I needed more time. Oh, also we got pizza at a great pizza place. That was great. But anyway, so we got home, and I had one day off before I had to go back to work at home, and we were sitting there eating lunch, and I looked down at the carpet, and I said, I yawned first. I yawned at it, and then I said, I've had it with this carpet. I'm done with this carpet. I'm ripping it up. That's it. I hate this. It's like shag carpet. We moved into that house in something like 2010. It's 2018. How has this carpet been allowed to last so long? It is disgusting. Whatever, we steamed it and cleaned it and kept it nice, but gross, brown, shag-like carpet. Who knows how long it had been there. Just disgusting. I hated the way it made the house look. It made it just trashy, gross. I always complain about that carpet. I hate it. And I just got this crazy, like, hey, we're doing it. It's today. So on my last day of relaxation time, what do? Make a giant house project. And those are our main rooms. The carpet was living room, dining room. And those are our main two rooms. Aside from those rooms, all we have is a kitchen and then two bedrooms. And there's no other extra spaces. And there's lots of big things like pinball machine and TV cabinet and computer desk and kitchen table or dinner table, that kind of thing. So we had to move everything, and we had to rip all that carpet out. And we're doing city cleanup right now, so I put it all on the outside for that. And it took all damn day and night because underneath the carpet was. Well, not underneath the carpet, but to install the carpet, they use there's strips with a bunch of nails on them to keep the carpet in place, as you probably know, around the corner of the room. Around the perimeter, I should say. And sometimes they'll staple the carpet in other places. So I don't know who installed it, but they went staple crazy. So I had to remove hundreds of staples. Oh my God. Terrible. Terrible. It would have taken, if there weren't those staples, it would have taken probably 4 hours less. Honestly. Sitting on the floor, it's like 11 p.m. at this point, and I'm still ripping out effing staples. Oh, it was nice because I just put some music on and we, sort of, something about that kind of work, you've got a clear goal, you get to work, whatever. But by the end of the night, I was toast. My body's still a little bit sore. And but the house already looks different and better in my opinion. Underneath is some terrible old tile, which I don't know if it's asbestos, but I'm just going to assume that it is. So we're getting that taken care of. And but in the meantime, we got to live with it for a little while. before we can get the new floor. And the funny thing was, we've been back and forth on this house we've been trying to buy, and we put an offer in, and they said no, too low, and then we countered, and they said no, too low. So then we walked away. But then we get an email the day after I do all this saying, "Hey, would you accept this?" And it's at our max, but it's what we would probably have taken. And we had just ripped all this carpet up and like destroyed the house. The house still isn't quite back in order. It looks much better now. We got an area rug in those rooms for now. It's good, whatever. But you can't sell it the way it like. Our agreement would be, if we sign the contract, we list our house within 7 days. I don't know if you've ever sold or bought a house, but there's all these things you got to do. And with this contract in particular, if we accepted their offer and bought their house for what we agreed on, we'd have to list our house within 7 days, and it's just impossible. So now we're like, we've been stressed about this house thing. We want to move. We don't have enough room. This house is just barely, the very edge of being affordable for us. But it's probably the last house we'd ever need. There are so many rooms. It's a huge 2-story house. It's beautiful. You wouldn't need to move from that house unless you just need to change, But that house is huge and glorious, and just within our price range. And so it's really frustrating. And we've gone back and forth for weeks and weeks at this point on trying to decide which house and which one we can afford, and really looking at this and that and figuring out math. And okay, well, if we do that, we got to do this to our house, or what if we just added on to our house? What would that be cheaper? And then we could just stay here, and, until the time came. Blah blah blah. All these things back and forth. It's a huge life change for us, and we want to be sure. And I know, Doom, if you're listening, it's we want to have you come visit, but we have no idea if we're even going to have a place to live. If we don't know what's going on. This is how crazy it is. So we don't know. We also have an appointment to have to get an appraisal, not an appraisal, but to get a, oh my God, words. It is 11 p.m. at this point, by the way, and I'm still not home. To get an estimate to see what it would cost to add on to our house, because we like our location. The house needs some updating on the outside. The siding is terrible. Not that it's falling apart, but it's like this terrible aluminum yellow siding. The porch is kind of gross, like it needs to be. Yeah, it needs some work. So whatever. It was a starter house. I've probably talked about that before, but anyway, there's talk of moving out of this house now and getting an apartment. Maybe. It's terrifying. We don't know. Like, getting an apartment and we can get everything out of this house and try to sell it faster, if that's what we're going to do. It's this huge mess, and I have to say, it's a lot of stress and a lot of work, and I'm sorry if it's held anything up, but it's truthfully, we're in the middle of a big, it's a big thing right now. So anyway, that's what I'm in the middle of right now. So I'll give you the results of our estimate whenever I get that, and we're going to get some new flooring installed on the house. That'll be great. Man, I've already this is already the longest episode that I've done, and haven't even talked about anything. I'm not going to do a song of the day because I don't do features. But I just want to mention that there's a new A Perfect Circle CD coming out. By the time you hear this, the CD will be out. It technically comes out in an hour in my time zone. I don't know if you like A Perfect Circle, but to me, they're one of my old school favorites. But they haven't had an album in 10 years. So who knows? I got a chance to listen to a couple tracks earlier, and I wasn't sure if I was feeling it. They still sound similar, but maybe I've changed. I don't know. I'm still working it out. But maybe we'll have a song of the day related to that soon. That's your tease. Anyway, I've talked long enough. I'm very happy to be back to my normal life, even though the vacation wasn't long enough. but it feels good to do this again. Man, even not doing it for just a week, I got so much to talk about. Anyway, thanks for coming back, guys. I missed you while I was away. There were so many things I thought, oh, I should write that down and talk about it. I didn't do it. I don't ever take notes. Imagine how good this would be if I took notes. Oh, anyway, once again, thanks for doing this with me, coming along on this journey of me just yapping. If you got something you want me to talk about, if you want me to cover something, if you want to know something, if you want clarification, if you want more info about something, you let me know. And yeah. Oh, real quick, you I don't know if you've listened to any of my music, but I've officially started work on a new album. It is more along the lines of the 8-bit stuff like I've done in the past. At this point, I don't know. Things have changed. Things have changed in the past, and they'll probably keep changing. But I've written a track that is very complex, 8-bit-ish, like the electronic barbecue music, if you've heard any of that. It's wow, it's interesting. I don't know if it's any good, but anyway, that's maybe going to be a thing this year. Who knows? Anyway, just wanted to, if you care about my music, that might be exciting to hear, or you might not give a damn. Anyway, I'm really leaving. Thank you for coming back. I love you. May the force be with you always. And good night.